All right, welcome to part 2 of what happens when 2 game store owners interview another game store owner. Welcome to the Dice, Cards, and Coffee podcast. We're a podcast where we talk about tabletop gaming. I'm Dustin from BGE's Tabletop.
George from Gaming Grounds.
And I'm Dave from Fire and Dice.
And we're 3 game store owners in the Los Angeles area. Today's episode is all about Gaming Grounds and George. We're going to be talking about his store, what Gaming Grounds is all about, and all that good stuff. So before we dig into Gaming Grounds, let's talk about George. When did you first get into tabletop gaming?
Yeah. I think it was right out of the womb. I threw a 20-sided, rolled a natural. It was probably high school or right before high school. I started playing with a bunch of guys that were playing in school, but it was a little too nerdy for me. And so it took me a couple of years. We played Dungeons & Dragons. Yeah, that's what I started with. But played through high school. Then I found a group, and we kind of just played for many, many years together. And we played all sorts of things like Car Wars and Marvel and, GURPS and Traveler. It was a lot of fun, but it was all role-playing games. I didn't even play board games until really much later.
Really? So I know a few of those games, but I've never played them.
Yeah. Car Wars is fun.
Car Wars and GURPS is kind of like, I know it's a role-playing game.
Yeah.
What is GURPS exactly?
It's kind of like a system that can be put into any genre. Like, you can have it really in different types of settings. But yeah, Boot Hill was another one that I played that was a lot of fun.
Boot Hill.
If you ever
What's
heard
Boot
of
Hill?
Western.
Okay.
Western RPG.
Sounds Western.
Yeah, Boot Hill. Makes sense.
That's cool. That's cool. So do you have the same group that you started with in high school you still play with today?
Actually, no. We've changed that group. I've changed over with a different group, but
Okay.
but I'm still friends with them. So, but we just don't play together. Don't have the time.
Yeah. Time.
Yeah, time is.
I know. It's like, back then, playing all these different systems, Boot Hill, GURPS, D&D, just playing all these different, it's like we did it. We played Marvel one time for a whole weekend. Like, we sat there. We didn't go to sleep. We just played Marvel. We played Secret Wars the whole weekend. But, like, you have so much time.
Yeah.
And now, like,
there's no time.
I can't even learn another system like Blades in the Dark. I want to learn it. I haven't been able to yet.
Yeah. I mean, as an adult, it's hard to find time. I think I was kind of lucky as a teacher, but you do have some like moments. I know you have a gaming retreat coming up where you get some moments where you get a good chunk of time.
And then that's the thing now, those moments are spent playing like a board game. It's like, it's my treat. I get to play a board game. So it's not so much Dungeons and Dragons. And, I play that as well still, but not as much as I like to.
So I know is it more so time commitment scheduling like the same group over each week or every other week?
Yeah.
For role-playing games?
So I played every Thursday for 20 years. Plus.
Wow. Yeah.
So like every single Thursday, like nothing got in the way, right? But now with kids, wife, not
the store,
the kids not anymore, and then the store,
the other baby,
and just realizing every Thursday is a bit much, to commit to. So now it's it's like once a month maybe.
Once a month isn't terrible, I guess. Yeah.
Better than me.
Really?
Yeah, because I used to have D&D group. We did every Sunday, sometimes fit in a random Saturday. And we did like every week, and then all gone. Just vanished.
Yeah. It's hard.
When you say once a month, is that once a month for role-playing games, or is that once a month for gaming in general?
Role-playing games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll play board games maybe 3 to 4 times a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit easier to squeeze in a board game.
Yeah.
What are some games that you're squeezing in?
So Terraforming Mars, and then we sometimes play Terraforming Mars, and then we'll go back to Terraforming Mars when we're done with it. No, that's the game we actually play the most of.
Sounds like your favorite.
It is. I really like that game. But we love like Ark Nova right now as well, Dune Imperium. But we haven't played the new one that just came out. Uprising, yeah. Want to play that one. Got to get my hands in there.
So, how would you play Terraforming Mars since it first released, or did you get into it later?
I think it was like right after it
Right after release?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dae and I know you're a big competitive board gamer, or you like to be. And
Yeah.
would Terraforming Mars be the one you could cream most people in?
I mean, I think I'm pretty good at it, but went to the board game, board game series, World Series in Las Vegas, and did not do so well. I won the first round.
Okay.
Should have won this. Well, almost won the second round. The guy had an amazing start against me. He had 3 greenery down and 3 cities down by turn 3, which was generation 3, which is crazy. Anyway, it was pretty impressive. But anyway, yeah, I went there. It was fun. I like to play competitively, but it's not something that I have to do. But I do like having something on the line. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like,
You always play to win, right?
oh yeah, for sure.
That World Series of board gaming, you went this past one. Did you go the year before?
Yeah, I've been to. Yeah.
Oh,
Did-
okay.
Both
So
times.
last year was
inaugural.
last year was the first time they ran it, I think.
Last year was the first time.
First time, yeah. So you went to the first 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
And do they give you a bracelet?
If you
win, you get a ring. I
Yeah.
believe.
A ring.
Yeah.
You get rings.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No ring for George?
No ring for me.
Maybe next year.
I lost in Ark Nova. I lost to the guy who went to the semifinals.
Wow.
He's a pretty good player.
Oh, man.
I might try it next one. I've been thinking about it.
The guy from Ark, the person who created Ark Nova, actually played in the tournament as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And he did.
I think he won the first round, but I don't think he
Okay.
went past that. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I'd have to look that up.
Now, do they ever change the rule a little? Like, I know for Terraforming Mars, you prefer drafting cards. Like, did you draft cards in the tournament?
Yeah, they do draft.
Okay.
Yep. It's pretty much the same. They have a couple little hiccups that are a little different.
Okay.
But yeah.
Because I like Ark Nova, and I thought drafting cards would be pretty neat.
Oh yeah, that would be.
Because
great.
sometimes,
Yeah, you get.
the starting hand doesn't
Yeah,
match
it's not
with
very
your
good.
bonus and whatever.
Right.
But
Oh, you don't draft an Ark Nova?
There is a variant that you can.
Oh, okay.
But
Interesting.
no, not.
but in the tournament,
By
they
the
did
rules.
not, right?
No.
Yeah. That would be
Just,
interesting if they add that in.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Cool.
So
Yep.
you opened Game and Grounds.
Yes.
When did you open?
We opened in March of 2022.
March of 2022.
Right after the pandemic started, we started opening everything back up. So it was a good timing for us. We were supposed to open up in 2021, around November, but, of course, things get pushed back, and it wasn't until March. But it was good timing for us. Everybody was ready to get out and connect, play some games.
So what's that, year and a half, pretty much?
Yeah, a little over a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Time flies, huh?
it does. It's crazy.
You've had one full calendar year so far.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm still a baby, this business.
So we see a lot of events and stuff behind us. If you had to share what Game and Grounds is all about, what would you say it is?
I think it's just really connecting through gaming. So being able to sit across from somebody, have this tactile board and pieces in front of you that you can move and touch and interact with somebody without having your phone on you, all the time. I think really that's what it is, about connection. And so our events here are almost all community driven, which is pretty
That's
awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
it makes it easier on me, first of all,
Yeah.
as an owner. But yeah, a lot of people, they're like, hey, I want to do this. I'm like, cool, let's do it. And then it grows into something bigger, trivia night, open mic night. It's all community driven, which is great. So people are just connecting through those events. It's pretty awesome.
How big of a overlap would you say from like trivia, the customers you get, trivia, open mic, paint and sip?
Yeah.
Like, is there a lot of customers that do all three, you think? Or
not really. No.
Okay.
We get different groups for different events.
That's good.
Which is great, and like I say, this store is like a tale of two cities, really, because we have coffee.
Yep.
And we have board gaming. So the board gamers come after 4 p.m. usually, and the coffee drinkers come around 8 a.m. So like, we get this, like we get the people who come in here and study in the morning, and then they clear out, and then all the gamers come in. And
That's
game.
good.
Your coffee is really good too, by the way.
Thank you, Stumptown. Shout out.
Stumptown. Are they local?
They have some store in L.A. that they used to roast their beans at, but they don't anymore. It's Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're in Oregon.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My other question, because you mentioned tactile experience, when you look around the cafe, I know that you don't have like a actual data number for this, but I'd be curious to hear what your gut response would be. How many times do you look around the cafe and you see no phones and people just like, hanging out and playing whatever game or doing whatever?
Yeah, it's a lot. I would say 80%, if I had to put a number on it. But I do walk around actually thinking about it like, oh, they're not on their phones. It's really interesting. And it's great,
Yeah.
It's
I think that's good about, tabletop games. When they're engaged, like everything else, they don't worry about all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's pretty awesome. And, like a lot of them, they come here with their phones. They have them on the table, but they never pick them up, and so like.
Unless someone's taking a really long turn.
And they're like, put down your phone.
Yeah. Let me check some stuff while you decide
What you're going to do on your turn.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you've been around for a year and a half, and you had some delays, and you had planned to open in 2021. What were like the biggest challenges of getting started?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say getting all the permits for the building, for the health code.
Yeah, so you pretty much...
This was a full build out.
Yeah, you kind of tore it down more or less, and then we had to rebuild, right?
Yeah.
So you had to do re-permit and everything.
Oof.
Yeah, so the permits were pretty harsh. But, at the end, when we were getting ready to open, the health department comes in and says, oh, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And we're like, what? Are you serious? You could have told us, weeks ago. And then, of course, they get a little bit of extra cashish. And then, it's like, it's just, you got to jump through hoops. So
It's part of their system.
and then, once you start doing those things, like you got to get you have to go through all the inspections and all this other stuff. It was a hassle for sure.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't envy. I didn't have to worry about any of that because we were
Yeah.
zoned for what we needed to be. And
But if you had food at your place, you would have to have some kind
lot
of
of
health
stuff.
inspector come in.
Yeah.
You'd have to pay for all that. And it's just a lot of hoops to jump through. They don't make it easy.
Yeah.
especially in LA.
Very
A lot of
true.
stuff. So that was kind of your biggest challenge with getting started. What about today? Like you're a year and a half in. This is like, I don't know, I would say like rookie year of the business kind of. What is some stuff that is tough overall and maybe day to day?
Well, one thing is there's just so much on my plate, because I've never ran a business with food in it. I've run a couple other businesses, so I kind of can get the retail part's not too tough, but the food was a lot of learning. But I think the toughest and the hardest part about it is the employees, keeping the costs down, managing employees. We have over like 14 employees, We started with 7, we now have 14, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, I think the employees is the toughest part.
Do you delegate any of that with the employees? Like, I know you have some managers and people that.
Yeah, we have a kitchen manager and we have a store manager. And so with the store manager, it's just recently, it's a year and a half since my baby. I really wanted it to be follow my vision. And just recently, I've kind of told my store manager, hey, you're taking over. You're doing everything. Here you go. Because I was basically doing a lot more work, and I'm trying to pawn that off on them. So
Delegating is good.
Delegating, yeah. Get less on my plate. Maybe I can play a game or two. Because
Right.
that was one of the things I was like, oh yeah, I'll be playing games. Nope. No, you won't be.
Yeah, you gotta just let someone, give them the responsibility, which frees up your time to do, other things, figure out other things to grow, right?
Yes, for sure. I mean, just, if you have somebody that you can trust, right? Because like you open this up, you have your own vision. If you can trust that person to follow that vision and implement that vision, then great. If not, you got to get someone new. That's just how it goes.
That's interesting. Yeah, for me, I haven't gotten to that point of like being able to trust someone to do that.
It's very hard.
Yeah. That's a big step, I think.
A huge step. Yeah, I just figured, I think we're almost there. So I'm ready to start, releasing the reins.
So if you had one word of advice, so you're kind of like, you just got going, rookie years, and now you kind of have some experience under your belt with running a business, with this business specifically, the game store and the cafe.
Yeah.
What is advice you would give someone?
Wow. I mean, if you can reach out and find somebody who maybe has a business like this and actually sit down, pick their brain, and, get some information from them that will help you succeed, I think that's probably the best thing you can do. But also just being patient and, understanding where your weaknesses are so you can fill those with good employees that can help you with that. Like our kitchen, we got an awesome employee here that really made our food just fantastic. I didn't expect the food to be as good as it is, and it's because of this employee, and they had that strength, and we brought, I would not have been able to do what he did. So
that's awesome. Fill in some gaps.
Yeah,
in your experience,
and being patient. Just like trying to figure it out. You can't just
Yeah, you can't expect to be right out the window. Like,
no, it takes time. And it's, everybody's different, right? So like what I want from this store, if a new owner came in, they'd probably want something different. And so,
right.
It's just about trying to get your vision there. You got to really, stay with it and just keep riding it until success comes.
Yeah, I like how you kind of mentioned something too, is like a theme is letting go a little bit too, because doing that allows for some creative aspects that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
And some surprises. Yeah.
Yeah. So, wanted to play board games, open a board game store. Don't get to play board games, but when I did, and Dae will attest to this, I would sit there and I'd be playing and I'd be like, oh, hold on guys, got to go do something. I'd go help out the kitchen, come back, sit down. And so one game that should take an hour and a half takes 3 hours, And I remember days it was always like, hey, you got to let them,
Yeah, let them figure it out, man. That's honestly, like, I think for sure, like, letting them figure it out is a good way to know, like, they're a good employee or, like, they can multitask or, think outside the box or something. Get the job done. Like, not have to, like, baby them, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Because once you have to start babying them, then you're putting more time into that, right?
Right, and maybe not letting them grow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, you told me that, and I started to let go a little bit that way, but, it's hard.
It is hard. No, I mean, So you started to get, what are you saying at 14? Like, we didn't get employees the first three years or so.
Yeah.
You're at 14, year and a half.
Yeah. Well, it is slightly different from our stores.
Yeah.
The food industry is no joke.
Mm. Yeah, you can't open a food business without some help.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You need,
feel like
sure.
you need some
you
help.
need someone knowledgeable for
Kitchen,
sure.
you know, you need everything.
Yeah, you don't want
Servers,
fingers
kitchen.
flying around in the kitchen.
It's fun though.
So, what is that like running the game store side and a cafe business model? Because essentially, you're running two businesses, right?
Yes, running two businesses, but they have to go hand in hand, in my opinion. So the board people who come in to play board games, hopefully order food and drink, and then the people who come in just for food and drink, I try to get them interested in board games. That's one of my first questions. Hey, have you played board games? Yeah, Monopoly.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, well, these are a little
The Parker
different.
Brother games.
Why don't you come in? Come in with somebody, and we'll teach you the game. And I've had so many people take me up on that and learn one of our easier games, and then move on from there.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a couple that have been here maybe 3 months. They've been around maybe 4 months, hanging out at the store. We taught them Japur. We taught them patchwork. We started with those kind of games. They now have a full library at their house of board games,
Nice.
and they're playing Arnak and Mars. They're playing all these
Deep diving into
dove into
the
these
real
games.
games.
Yeah, but it's and it's so awesome to hear and see that.
Yeah. It takes just to take a little taste,
Yeah,
because board games are great.
yeah, they're amazing.
Great. I've been playing video games for who knows how long, and then once I played Catan, I was like, no video games and just board games.
I think my first game was Ascension.
Ascension.
Well,
Wow.
Dominion and Ascension.
Oh yeah, you do play. I remember you played a lot of Ascension.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was I played Magic the Gathering for
Yep.
many years.
Yeah, I used to come to our shop and to do
Yeah.
the what's the thing called back then? Now they're called RCQs, but back then they were called
PPQ, no
PPTQ.
PPTQ.
PPTQ. Yeah. They used to come in. He was a grinder. He used to
Yeah.
Grinder.
try to
Yeah.
get those wins in, get invited
Yeah,
to
yeah.
bigger events.
Before my time. We don't even do RCQs yet. Too
Yeah.
casual.
I mean, it's kind of it's all about Commander now.
Yeah. You guys do Magic here?
We do. It's very little, like light. We don't have a lot of. It's not really our focus. It's more board games and role playing, but we do have some Magic here.
You have, I guess, what are some of the other events? I know we see a bunch behind us. You got a board game meetup, Magic Draft, D&D Guild, D&D.
Yeah, so we run our own D&D campaign through the shop. So that's our D&D Guild. We also we have Chess Night. We have
Chess Night. That's
Commander Night.
good.
We also have that board game meetup where we get like 40 people coming in here and just
I come here
playing.
when I have time. I come here for the board game on
board
Friday.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And they'll do after hour stuff and go watch anime and stuff.
Yeah. Courtney would.
Chess is big in the Valley. Do you get a big turnout for that?
So we only get 6 to 8 players right now.
Okay.
Sometimes there's more, but we do hold these tournaments through LA Chess Ladder. Shout out.
Mm-hmm.
And they run their own tournaments. They run them in different shops, but they've run it at our shop 3 times already,
Okay.
maybe 4. And they get 40 plus people.
Wow.
It's really fun.
And these are like LA Oni ranking.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's their own
Their own
ranking
separate-
system
oh, okay.
and everything. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, it's LA Chess Ladder.
Yeah. And then what's that? Queen's Gambit.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
that
was a
definitely
great show.
boost up the chess player. And then they're coming out the new season, so that's gonna be good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
really?
heard they're working on a new season.
Oh,
I could be
that's
wrong.
cool.
Maybe it's a fake, post.
Right,
but
right.
I don't see why not. It was very popular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a great show, for sure.
So I'm also looking around at all your games, and you have a game library where people can come in and play a game. How does your game library work?
Yeah, we have over probably 200 different titles, and basically we just ask for a ID. They check out a game. We have 3 shelves or worth of games. They come in, pick out a game. When they're done, we just switch back, give them their ID, get the game back, and we hope that they just enjoy the food and drink while they're playing the game. And we also teach the games as well if we have time, if it's not too busy, and if we know the game. Obviously, there's over 200 games. I don't know every single game here. Know quite a bit of them, but not, And then there's new ones like every month. It's just crazy, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, the board game industry right now is just exploding. So,
How do you stay up to date on, like, you personally, but also as a business, what to stock and what to know how to play to be able to teach?
Yeah, I rely a lot on my distributors and what they're putting out there, their newsletters and whatnot. But also, I'll go to Board Game Geek and just see, hey, what's the, what's
on the hot list?
Yeah, what's happening here, and see what the interest is, and then also, the community here. We have a couple people here, like Rusty. Shout out.
Enthusiast.
He's an enthusiast for sure. Like, he'll bring in the newest games, and he loves to show them and play them. And I'll play it, and I'll go, oh, this one's cool, and then I'll order it. So that's
that definitely helps.
Having
customers.
Yeah, for sure. He's a marketing machine.
He's your marketer, or he markets for the company.
He markets for those companies. He does. He really does.
That's awesome. All right, so before we kind of end our segment about games and grounds, or Game and Grounds, do you have any last words, anything you want to share about Game and Grounds?
Yeah, I guess just that I love the spot. It's just a fun spot. And, like, so if you're going to ever do something like this, make sure that you're, of course you want to make money, but, you want to love it as well, because that's what's going to let it grow. So, yeah.
Awesome. So come out to Game and Grounds, Chatsworth, Los Angeles. Come play a game. Maybe you'll play with George and Dae.
Yeah. On a Friday, I'll
Friday
most
night.
likely be here.
All right, so let's talk about the convention. This is why we're all together in the first place. I mean, we love to talk about this stuff regardless, but we are planning a tabletop gaming convention for 2025 in Burbank, Los Angeles. We have a convention segment. I think our segment for today is we're going to talk about how we came up with the name. When you're seeing this, we probably have a name, but right now we don't have a name.
How we came up with a name we don't have yet.
How are we brainstorming and, like, coming up with names?
Well, a survey for one.
Survey, definitely.
Putting a little survey together for our community.
Yeah, we did hone down on, like, a few names.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of dice roll, survey, keep talking about what comes out nice throughout the tongue, So it's
yeah, we're thinking about.
Can we give him the names? I
Sure,
guess?
yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Figure out what we didn't pick, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the number one on our list at this time, so it might change, is LFG.
Yeah.
LFG Con.
Most people
What's
might
that
know it
stand
as well.
Let's effing go.
It could be
Looking for games, right? This is gamers.
Yeah, I mean, LFG is
Kind of new term for
group. I've thought of LFG because
for group.
In a lot of video games, especially MMORPGs, LFG is very widely used because looking for group, right? But for us, I was thinking, we could do looking for gamers.
Yeah,
and it can technically be
looking
anything.
For geeks.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things. But
let's effing go.
Like, let's effing go. Yeah,
that's what everybody's gonna say when they go to our con.
Yeah,
right. So that's number one on our list. We have some other ones too. LFM, looking for meeple.
So it's kind of close to looking for group gamers, but meeple more specifically because I have to deal with tabletop. So that's one of them. Funny enough, LFM is also part of the MMORPG. That's why I came up with these what do you call it?
What is
Acronyms.
LFM?
Looking for more.
More.
So you already have a group, and you need that 1 or 2 extra people or meeple to join. So that's why I thought of LFM sounds pretty cool too.
Okay.
Then we got Omnicon.
Omnicon. The word omni. Well, what did it meant everything.
All.
Yeah, encompass all. So
Yeah.
I really like Omnicon. However, now that someone mentioned it sounds like a COVID variant, I'm kind of put off on it now.
yeah.
Omnicon coming to you.
Yeah. One thing good about
Everybody
Omnicon, it
come.
can literally mean anything, right? To
Yeah.
someone, so
Yeah.
And then we have one more Cardboard Gamers Con or Cardboard Con.
Cardboard
Word.
Con.
Yeah, cardboard gamers or cardboard.
CGC.
Yeah.
We're still working
CGC.
that one out.
Yeah. I don't think that one. So we did little surveys. We didn't email blast anyone, but from the local players, I think LFG is lead right now. Yeah.
We're going to do some more surveying and we'll figure it out. Probably by the next episode, we'll have it for you.
I mean, when we
Maybe.
release this,
Yeah,
we'll have
it will
it.
be.
But we'll maybe have it in our heads at that point. All right. So, again, I'm Dustin from BG's Tabletop.
George from Gaming Grounds.
And Dave from Fire and Dice.
And be sure to check out Game and Grounds, Chatsworth, Los Angeles. And we will see you for part 3 of our Gamer Stores Interview Game Stores episode.
With Dustin at BGE.
Dustin. All right, thank you. We'll see you next time.
Take care.